Hey guys, welcome to Streak Initiative, and we are covering this week international relations related questions for your Prelims 2021. And before we move on to the questions, remember to register for Streak program. You can find the link in the description box, and also you can join to the Telegram group where further discussions on these topics can take place. So without much ado, let's move on to the very first question of the day. The first questions we're talking about is military bases. Now, these kind of topics are there in your news, and they are kind of a recurring kind of topics. So you should be aware about them. So the question is, which of the following are military bases of India outside its territory? Number 1 is Tajikistan, number 2 is Oman, number 3 is Djibouti, and 4th is Madagascar. Now, the answer for this particular question is D, in fact. So, the military bases in India, of India, outside India are, number 1 we have in Tajikistan, that is Farkhor Air Base, which is actually operated by the Indian Air Force and the Tajikis Air Force. So, the first option is very much correct here. Then we also have one in Bhutan, which is Indian Military Training Team, and that is permanently stationed there, right? In Madagascar, we have a listening post as well as a radar station facility. So option 4 is also right here. Then in Mauritius, there was this idea of building up coast surveillance radar system, but a lot of political issues started coming over that project. Next, in Seychelles also, there was this postal surveillance coastal radar system that was supposed to be set up. Then we have one post in Oman. Now that is a listening post, and the rights here is, Indian Navy is something that operates this particular post in Oman. And it is at Muscat Naval Base. So option 2 is also right, 1 is also right, and 4 is also right, and that is when we have the option D. If you remember, Djibouti is something that China's base is located. So that is also important. Do remember, in Indian Ocean, some of these military bases, which country has where, all this kind of information is very important from prelims point of view. Like a 2 marker can be easily asked on these kind of questions, right? So that was about military bases. Now next, move on to another important international body, which is IORA, which is Indian Ocean Rim Association. Now this is a very important body. Why? Because this has consistently been part of your previous year question papers. Many times questions have been asked from this particular body, so automatically this becomes a very important body. Now this particular question is aimed at checking your knowledge upon whether you are aware about the membership of this particular body or not. Now from international relations, whenever you're reading a body, it's very important you go through where is the first summit, when it was made, the body when it was made, what is the main objective of that particular body, what is the membership, especially focus upon India and some of the nearby regions, right? So these are important things to look into whenever you're reading any international body. So right now we're talking about Indian Ocean Rim Association. That is, earlier it was known as IOR-ARC, that is Association for Regional Cooperation, and it actually consists of 23 states, and which actually borders the Indian Ocean. And the basic idea here is to strengthen the economic cooperation for trade facilitation, investment, and also social development of this particular region. So the 5 countries we're talking about is Comoros, UAE, Papua New Guinea, and Kenya, and Seychelles. Now you have to identify, see, all of them are somewhat near the Indian Ocean and somewhat share the boundary or nearby that country, particular boundary. So it can be a bit confusing here. So the best way to, I think, remember any membership with respect to any body is just download the map. You can find it on Wikipedia also. So it's very easier to then conceptualize the idea, like which bodies are part of which particular uh, organization. So here, all of them except for third option are part of your IORA. And interesting fact, one more thing here is that even Pakistan is not a member of IORA. So that is also another one thing that you can look into, like that is interesting part. And in fact, even Myanmar is not part of it. So yeah, so you can look into the membership. Kenya is as well as member. We've got all the countries from South Africa. You go from South Africa, Mozambique, Tanzania, Kenya, Comoros. You've got Somalia. Then you go up. You have Yemen, Oman, Iran, that side, UAE, then India, Sri Lanka. We've got Indonesia, we've got Philippines, we've got Singapore, we've got Thailand. All these countries, all the boundaries of the Indian Ocean are actually part of it. Only the third option is missing here. Next, again, I think today's theme is something that we're going to focus a lot upon Indian Ocean, because that region is very important, both from mains and prelims point of view. So the next question is, you have to identify which statements are correct with respect to Indian Ocean Commission. It was in news, so you should know what it is about. The number one thing here is that the member states of Indian Ocean Commission include Comoros, Madagascar, Mauritius, Mayotte, and Reunion and Seychelles. And the second statement here is that it is an intergovernmental organization which is aimed at social development of the region with the help of international organizations like European Union. Now you have to identify which statement is correct. You can pause for the video for a minute and look at the options again and make your guess. So the answer for this particular question is actually D. None of the statements is correct. Why? Number one thing is, see, if you look at the membership here, the membership is not correct. All right. The membership for this particular body, that is Indian Ocean Commission, the countries which are part of it are Comoros, Madagascar, Mauritius, Reunion, and Seychelles. Mayotte is not a part of it. But if you look at these bodies, Comoros, Madagascar, Mauritius, Mayotte, Reunion, and Seychelles, they actually form a grouping which is known as Vanilla Islands. Now, Vanilla Islands is a concept with respect to tourism-related promotion. So that is altogether a different idea. So these two ideas can be confusing. So make sure you're aware which body has which membership, which body has which countries as a members. So in this statement 1 is completely wrong. Mayotte will be not there. Second statement is wrong here again. Now you have to be very specific about what is the role a particular body is playing. So here, don't be very generic, like not every body is related with the economic or social development, right? So this particular body is not aimed at social development. The basic idea behind this particular body is the regional security, right? So security architecture of this particular region is something that this particular body looks into. There has nothing to do with social and economic development. And in fact, yeah, they do work with the European Union, but the basic aim here is not social development. So that is why the statement is wrong here. So again, couple of things that I told you before: to look for any international body or any mission. When you're talking about, you should know exactly what the objective is, the members, when it was set up, if it's a forum, then when was the first summit held, which year it was formed. So all these is very important. All right. So next, move on to another question. Now, see, this kind of question where you have to rearrange, again, the theme of Indian Ocean is followed again in this question. So, see, these kind of questions can be answered both from the geography point of view and also from the international relations point of view. Like if you have a lot of news that is coming with respect to Indian Ocean, right? We did 2-3 questions before. So make sure you open the atlas and look at that region, right? And revise the islands or the oceans or any other seas that you have to do from that region. That ways, your atlas will be helpful both in IR and your geography, because you cannot have this complete bifurcation of studies in UPSC. You are aware about that fact, right? So that is why I've linked this geography related question to your IR. Now the question is, you have to arrange from north to south the islands. From north to south you have to arrange these islands. So 4 islands are basically Maldives, Seychelles, Mauritius and Reunion. So I think one thing which is very easy is that Maldives is the northernmost, right? In fact, just below the Lakshadweep, we have Maldives. The equator does passes through one of the lower islands of Maldives. So that is where Maldives is located. After Maldives, we've actually got Chagos Islands. Then we've got Seychelles. Now Seychelles is something closer to your the African continent, right? Then you go down, you have Madagascar, and right beside Madagascar, you have both the islands, which is Mauritius and Reunion. But be very careful here that Mauritius comes before Reunion. Reunion is just below Mauritius. So the answer for this particular question is A. Again, the basic idea for this question is make sure any topic, any region that is in news, like if Afghanistan related news is there in international relations, make sure you open the atlas, look at the map of the Afghanistan, look at the mountain ranges, the boundaries. If there's a lake, then make sure you know it, which countries are neighboring it. So all that is very important whenever you're studying IR, right? And the last question of the day is again related to two very common bodies, which is BITSAC and SARC. Now again, the same thing that I've been telling you to make note of it. So here also we're going to look at the memberships, we're going to look at which year it was formed and the summits. So the first statement here is that both SARC and BITSAC are 7-member group in South Asia. So basically it's saying that both the bodies have 7 members as its membership. The second is that SARC was formed in 1985 and BIMSAC was formed in 1997. Third statement is that the first summit of SARC was held in Nepal and of BIMSAC was in Bangkok. And now you have to identify which of the option is correct here. So you can pause the video again and try out this question. The answer for this particular question is actually D. See, all the statements are not correct. All the statements are not wrong here, but the combination given in the options is not right. Like if you look at the first statement here, so it says both of them have 7 members. Now, if you look at SARC, we've got Afghanistan, we've got Bangladesh, we've got Bhutan, we've got India, we've got Nepal, we've got Maldives, we've got Pakistan, and we've got Sri Lanka. So SARC has 8 members. It's not 7. But BIMSAC does have 7 members because there's no Pakistan here. So Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal, we've got this India, we've got Myanmar, Sri Lanka, and Thailand. Right, so there is no Pakistan, Afghanistan here, and there's no Maldives also here, right? So yeah, BIMSAC does have 7 countries, but SARC does not. So automatically this statement is wrong. Next statement here is that SARC was formed in 1985. This is absolutely correct. It was formed on December 8, 1985. And BIMSAC was also formed in 1997. Through the Bangkok Declaration. So this statement is also absolutely right. So statement 2 is right here. So basically if statement 1 is wrong, so you have option C that is available or D that is available. So 2 is correct. But if you notice, statement 3 is wrong. The first summit of SARC was not held in Nepal. It was there in Dhaka. BIMSAC, it's right, it was there in Thailand only, but SARC summit was in Dhaka. So statement 3 is wrong. So obviously you cannot pick up statement option C here. So D is the answer. Just a recap of these bodies. Again, the membership of SARC include 8 countries. It has 21% of the world population, 3% of the world area, and 3.8% of the global economy. right? And the basic idea here is to take care of the regional development of this particular region. And then the BIMSACT here has 22% of the population, 2.7 trillion combined GDP here, 1/4 of the world's traded goods passes through this bay every year. And this is also focused upon development of this particular region. So that is it for this particular video. All the best, guys. Keep on studying. Do register for Streak Initiative and keep on studying, and all the best. Bye.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update from Civilsdaily.